We are going live. Teen Wolf Fisher, how you doing? How are you doing, Teen Wolf Fisher? What is up? So guys, today is going to be slightly different. So Thursdays, I'm going to try out the members only chat. So only members can chat, but everybody else can still watch the video that we have coming up. We have this video coming up. We're going to be talking about some close calls, angry people, and hectic rider moments. So, actually, hey, made it this time. Yeah. So guys, it's going to be more of like a slower chat just because it's going to be YouTube members. Okay, so that's kind of the point though, because I want to focus heavily today on answering the question, like a few questions at a time. So if you do have questions, everybody in the chat, please let me know. But the main thing is I want to be able to focus heavily on the content itself. I get distracted really easily. So if you'd like to support the channel and be able to chat today, please join as a YouTube member. It does help out the channel. It really does. Just click that join button or click that link in the chat. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump into this video. So we're gonna jump into this video, and like I said, guys, today's just gonna be the members only chat. Tuesdays is gonna be everybody, so everybody can still watch. That's the thing. Everybody can still watch. So all right, so let's go ahead and jump into this one. So that was an incident, I guess. It happens all the time. All right, so maybe if we scroll back as far as we possibly can. All right, let's watch that again. So I'm trying to think of all these different ways. Florida man, thank you so much for the top donation of the month. Appreciate it. Appreciate it so far though. What's up, Naomi84? How you doing? How you doing, Naomi? See, the thing is, Tom and Naomi have beards, bruh. You only got a mustache. Alright, so we're gonna do this one. So basically what happened here was the driver turned right in front of him. This is a typical one for, I'm assuming, the UK. In the United States, it's going to be turning left in front of us, but over there it's going to be opposite. My biggest thing here is that we should be prepared for these types of things, especially if there's an intersection coming up. And there's a few things here when it comes to why the driver did not see the rider. So it's about right here. Okay, so this driver up top, he's going to come out and he's going to move his thing. The driver behind him is what's going to be the one that's going to be in front of him. It's going to be in the path of travel. My first guess is this driver is looking to the left to see if there's any cross traffic or any traffic that they have to merge into. So that's what I'm seeing right there. But at the end of the day, I mean, they should have seen us, but here's the thing, our headlights are pointing this way. Sometimes they're not that bright, they kind of blend in, so we start having those issues. So about right here, this driver is not looking to the right. More than likely they're looking to the left. They're getting ready to go because they noticed that this person went, so they're gonna go. They're making huge assumptions. So if we understand that from a rider's perspective, that the driver will do something like that, it's almost like a sixth sense, and you're like, man, I could totally figure this out, and this guy's gonna do this guy's gonna do that. I'm ready, and it's not gonna be a real issue. So it's already knowing that this person's gonna be in our path of travel. So right here, this person's going to be in our path of travel. At no point should we still be accelerating or trying to get close to this person. You got a bass boat? Nice, man. Dude, enjoy that bass boat. No worries, man. At this point, we should understand that this driver is going to be in our path of travel. So we really have to just slow it down and call it a day. Let the person go, get out of traffic so they don't get hit. They made a dumb mistake or they did something stupid. It doesn't matter. Our job is to not be a part of that situation. Get them out of there. And then call it. So he maintained his speed, and then he's going to get close, rev bombed, and then honk the horn. There's no reason to get that close or to scare him. One's if you scared them so much that they stopped, or you made them panic because they stopped. And now this driver, T involved, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Guys, if you're wondering why the chat isn't working, if you're just now joining, if you're wondering why the chat isn't working for you, this is going to be the members only chat stream today. Tuesdays, it's going to be absolutely for everybody that can chat. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to try to stream. Thursdays, it's just YouTube members, but you can watch. That's the thing, is you still watch. I want you guys to pay attention. I want you guys to watch. But this is going to give a little shine and an extra perk to the YouTube members. So Anka, how you doing? Appreciate you guys being here. So YouTube members, chat away if you want. If not, that's fine. The main thing is this way I can focus on the content. I won't have to say this every single Thursday. Just say it once or twice. But yeah, if you cause them to panic and stop because you're like honking at them, doing all that stuff, maybe they're angry and they stop when they want to yell at you. What about this driver coming up ahead? What if they swerve around and then come back into you? So all these things we just keep adding to the situation. Just get away from it. So there's a lot on that one. There's like just a lot of reckless riding, to me anyways. A lot of impatient riding. Because it really wasn't reckless. So a lot of impatient riding. North 87. Texas. So a lot of impatient riding. A lot of riding in terms of, hey, I need to get going somewhere, or I just don't like people near me type thing. So a lot of aggression. A lot of aggression mindset wise. He does enough to do double head checks and everything, making sure. This should have already been done prior to turning, and you should be doing it more and more and more instead of just this one really long one and then going back. So guys, if you're doing head checks like that, make them quick. So we're in this lane, and this is what I don't get when it comes to drivers specifically, any driver, motorcycle or not. He's in this lane right now, so you're supposed to turn in the first available lane. He's in this lane right now. Is he using his indication to go left? I highly doubt he's using indication to go left. So he basically just cut across both lanes. And now we're going to get mad at the truck driver to do the same. Truck driver at minimum went into the first available lane and then is going to switch lanes. He didn't expect a motorcyclist to just cut across and try to gun it. So to be upset with this driver, it's not warranted, especially if we already did something very similar to this where we just cut across both lanes. So this is where that double standard really applies when it comes to drivers or motorcycle riders. So guys, don't have that. Don't have that double standard right there. At no point is that going to be very helpful to you. What happens if this driver in front of us slammed the brake? Because he's like, I'm so sick and tired of this. I'm so sick and tired of these motorcycle riders or whoever, and they slam the brakes. But you're in the middle of a rev bomb. Like, you just reduced every ounce of engine braking. You messed up your acceleration for if you have to swerve, all these different things. Exactly, Ivan. Double standards by motorcyclists: do as I say, but not as I do, but do as I do. I've seen that all the time. A lot of motorcycle riders getting upset with drivers, but we just witnessed a motorcycle rider doing something they weren't supposed to, and a driver doing not what they're supposed to. It's simple. Just let's not get upset by that. But yeah, don't rev bomb because you just reduced an escape path basically. So the impatience of it, getting upset with that, doing all that stuff is right here, very apparent. Don't have this mindset. If you're getting that upset by it, just go ahead and give yourself a nice scoot back. And then if you have to, pull over, put some music on, and then continue on with the ride. Enjoy the ride itself. Okay. Guys, if you're just now, once again, joining, it's members only chat. Click that join button to join and become a member. You get to support the channel and chat on Thursdays. Tuesdays, we're going to do the full chat for everybody. So don't worry about that. It's just today on Thursdays. Not only reduces the escape path, but unnecessary wear and tear. And yeah, exactly. You're going to have a lot of issues when it comes to wear and tear on your bike. You got your clutch cable, you got your actual clutch, you got your transmission, all that stuff. So right here, we see brake lights. So this is where I talk about having, one bad thing happen, and then it goes into the next bad thing, and then it goes into another dumb thing that we're doing now that we have all these bad things. So right here, he got pissed off at the rider, or at the driver, rev bombed, switches lanes, accelerates, puts himself in this situation now. This driver up ahead in front of him is applying the brakes. So he's going to have to slow down. Now that's one thing. Maybe he sees it, maybe he doesn't. Once if he doesn't see it, and that now he crashes because we always see it all the time. The driver or the rider getting pissed off at the driver and is staring at the driver, flipping him off, doing all that other stuff. But we have a vehicle stopping in front of us, and if that vehicle stopped in front of us and we weren't paying attention, all of a sudden we have to slam the brakes. We're gonna dump the bike, and then we're not gonna have an escape path to the left because we have this big truck that we're yelling at in our way. See, look how close that came. He had to go on the brakes pretty good. Watch. Let's watch it in full motion. Super impatient. Super impatient. He's going to accelerate through the small little gap. Now, I know a lot of us have done that, but it's very unsafe. The mindset is not there in terms of safety. The mindset is I'm upset. And that you can have that, but once you recognize, hey, I'm in the upset mindset where I'm riding aggressively, I'm getting angry at things. If you recognize that, it means you're doing really good. You're really good at self-analysis. But if you recognize you're doing that, tone it down. Take a step back. Tell yourself, hey, no. Okay, stop. It's time to ride safely. Let's not do this. We also have a lot of brake lights coming up ahead too, up here. And then it's a green light for the intersection, but that means there's an intersection, so it's another dangerous zone.
Put the phone down! Put the phone down! My buddy got hit by a charger that was on his phone! Put your phone down, man!
Alright. I don't care. The whole put your phone down thing, it's like you're adding yourself to a fight that you don't need to be a part of. I don't really care about that. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh. Exact. Yeah, Ivan.
Yeah, my back brake's locked up. I just slid.
You okay?
You may have to get it up.
Alright. I thought there might be more. That one was pretty, it was pretty simple. This is what happens quite a bit. This is like a normal accident. Like for a human. You're going to have this when it comes to car driving. You're going to have this when it comes to motorcycle riding. The problem is with motorcycle riding, and we do something like this, we get severely injured comparatively to a car. So what a shame, because he was riding in a very chilled manner otherwise. Yeah, so it may be too chilled, maybe too relaxed, maybe zoned out, not zoned in. I mean, he could be doing everything safe. He could have the best physical skills in the world, but he's zoned out, super chilled. Maybe he's listening to music or you know, just really into the music. I mean, I listen to music, but I'm still zoned in. And since he was zoned out, he just saw the hazard way too late. He recognized the hazard pretty quick, but just wasn't enough. Yeah, so he's, see right there, they're going back and forth. Relax, probably listen to music, you know. Okay, the moment you see brake lights, that should snap us out. See, that's when we're zoned in. We can have some fun. We're doing this stuff. We're in yellow stage. And then as soon as we see brake lights, we're snapped out of the, you know, having fun yellow stage. It's like, okay, or a little bit of orange, you know, yellow orange. It's like, okay, what is that? What is that? And then all of a sudden you see that you're closing the space cushion and the gap. Okay, now we're in orange. Something's happening. I got to do something. So I'm just going to engine brake, maybe slow it down, keep my space cushion, move off to the left side so I have a better escape route, so I have better line of sight. That's when we switch from having some fun, listening to music, going back and forth to now doing this. You know what I mean? That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. So right here, start to switch to orange mode, and now that you have an escape path opened up to your left side, let's go ahead and move over to the left. So we're still not paying attention. We're still we're in lane position 2 right behind the van driver, or the SUV, and we can't see around. So I want everybody to do something real quick. I know you guys can't chat right now. And once again, if you're wondering why you can't chat, it's because it's a YouTube member only chat. So right next to the subscribe button, there's a join button. If you click that, then you can go ahead and chat. Tuesdays, we'll do a normal one where everyone chats, but everyone gets to watch. But here's the thing, like, so it's going to look different to me. So when it comes to the whole line of sight thing, so if you're right directly behind the car in front of you, like right directly, if you're super close, it looks like this, right? It looks like that. If you're super close, you can kind of see around, right? You can kind of see around the person, but what's directly in front of you, you can't. So if you scoot back further and further and further and further and further and further and further, you start to see like around them pretty good. Okay, so you can actually do that. I mean, it's simple. I mean, you could do that with your thumb. So close one eye, put your thumb in front of one eye, and then slowly move it forward, and then all of a sudden you can see a lot more. It's the same concept. So this is why I never understood why people get so close. And that was one of the comments that I was having on my Ride Along with Dan at the Fireman video yesterday, where I was in traffic and I had a really far following distance. And it looked a lot farther too because of the GoPro, but I had a pretty good following distance. And some people were saying, you know, what if somebody takes that opportunity to get into your lane? I'm like, well, okay, well, if they cut in front of me when I have that really big following distance, I'll just continue on to add more and more following distance to this new person that's in front of me. That's all I would do. But a lot of people were getting not upset, but they had good ideas of, well, close it up so people don't take it. Well, if we're closed up and people don't take it, it's that whole concept of, well, now this is what I'm doing 100% of the time just so somebody doesn't get in front of me. I don't want to do that. If I'm following them and I'm like this far away and all of a sudden somebody comes in front of me and they're like this to me, okay, well, I'll slow down and now it's this. That's what I'll do. So I have no problem just continuously going back. At the end of the day, is it going to add time to my commute? Yeah. How much time? Probably like 10 seconds to my commute. But now I have a full-on safe commute or wherever I'm going. So that's what I'm getting at when it comes to that. So keep a following distance and maintain that. So if they slow down, you slow down too. So if we go back to this, maintain this following distance. If all of a sudden you're creeping up to them and you're getting closer and closer and closer and closer, make it bigger by slowing down yourself. And don't be right behind the person. Be off to the side. Be off to the side a little bit so you still have way better vision if you have to stay close. So we got brakes. And then you can definitely see, because let's go back to this right here. When originally they applied the brakes. So when they originally applied the brakes, there was no dive to the front end. There's no jerky motion of the car. It was brake lights, and it almost seemed like it was barely like gradual. It was like super gradual. And then you're gonna see this difference on the second one where it's brake lights, and then boom, the vehicle like slams forward. That is what you should pick out. That should be, you know, brake lights like this first one should just be, you know, orange mode. But the moment you see brake lights and the car dives forward, that's red. You're in red, because that right there is a very panicked emotion for the car driver. Like, we have to stop now. So that should put you in red. You need to recognize those subtle differences. So this first one, so brake lights. See how the brake lights were there and there was like no real change in the body mechanics of the car? Let's watch that one more time. So watch the brake lights. Or watch the car and you're going to see no change really with the dynamics of the car. So no dynamic change with the car. Now we're going to watch the second set of brake lights at the end that's going to cause the accident. You're going to see a massive change in the car's dynamics. You're going to see a big change compared to that. You see how it kind of dives forward a little bit? It's very subtle, and that's one of those things that you need to pick out when you're riding. It's out of the ordinary. It's something that typically drivers don't do because they don't just slam the brakes consistently. They don't just go all the way up to the intersection, slam the brakes. At least you shouldn't. they're gradually coming to a stop and then they stop. So this right here is a car's version of an emergency brake. If a car in front of you is doing their version of an emergency brake, you need to be very prepared. If you're driving a semi-truck, you have to look past the front vehicle or a bunch of people that can get killed. And motorcycle, it's the same thing. Only it's you that gets killed. Yeah. So as a truck driver, you have to look far ahead because your total stopping distance is massive with all that weight. And then now with a car, but with that, you just continue to crush them. You're like, you're going past and through everybody. On a motorcycle, you have to look far ahead because your total stopping distance is great too. But you don't crush it. Bill Odom, welcome. Hey man, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the chat also, the newest member. Motorcyclists have a long stopping distance too, but they don't plow through people. They run into things and die. So exactly. So if you're a truck driver or you drive a semi truck, you know exactly what you have to do, and you should translate that to motorcycling. So big dive right here. So braking. So right here is when he recognized it. So as soon as the brake lights come, brake lights. So brake lights, we're about this far. Now, the moment he decides to apply the brakes is when he gets into this little intersection area. So his reaction time is not very good. His perception time is not very good because he's not paying attention. His reaction time is good. I mean, it's about a second. It's pretty much standard for everybody, second and a half. And now that took away, his poor reaction time took away, his poor perception time took away from his total stopping distance. So now he's applying the brakes. He had a lot more time than that. If this is the case right here, and you see this because you're not paying attention, you have two options. You have one, to apply the brakes, possibly lock him up, possibly crash into this vehicle, which is what happens to this guy. Or two, swerve to the left and try to get that gap, ride that line so you don't hit anybody. That sucks though. If those are the two options you have, is to pretty much crash into the back of this vehicle and to lane split with oncoming traffic, then what's the third option really? Is to pay attention prior. Paying attention to prior would have prevented this. But if it comes to an emergency, you have two options, and those are your two options. I'd rather just always pay attention, but then have the skills just in case I zone out. If it was a low-speed accident, it's still going to be painful, though. Lower Siberian three-toed tree sloth has faster reactions. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't even react. There's a lot of accidents out there where somebody just doesn't react at all. They don't see it until the absolute moment it's an impact. All right, so what's this one?
Look at this idiot.
Yep, and then they slam the brakes. Alright, is that all he's gonna do? Yeah, that's all he's gonna do. So don't act like that. I mean, he even said, here's the thing. He's like this person cut in front of me and they have a kid in the back and he's over here flipping them off. Okay, so we're just gonna possibly be flipping them off. You're honking at the driver to get their attention. Don't you think you're gonna get the kids' attention? If the kids are such a concern for you, you shouldn't be doing that. So this driver wanted to get over. So they crossed the gore area. Okay. At this point, when I see stuff like this and I'm out on the road, whether I'm in a car or on this motorcycle, if I'm right here and they cut in front of me like this, my first instinct is to be like, well, that's dumb. I'm glad I'm not in their way. And two is to just let them go. Let them go way ahead. As far ahead as I can. Because, I mean, depending on the time of day, too. If it was at night on a Friday evening or Friday night or Saturday night, more likely they're drunk. I want them to get away from me. If they crash, hopefully it's about a mile down the road in front of me. And then I can help them after that. But I don't want them crashing near me because now I got to do some emergency stuff. So if I see this, I'm going to let them go. Just in case. I mean, who knows? They could be extremely angry, and once again, we're on a motorcycle, guys. And if they're extremely angry, who knows? They might try to sideswipe us, and then we're the ones on the ground.
Look at this idiot.
Okay, so at this point, when I see this, I'm like, okay, nothing good can happen for me with this situation. If this car driver slams on the brakes, I'm right behind them. Okay, so I need to get into a different area. What's up, Dad and Matt? How you doing, man? If they slam the brakes, I need to get out of here. So I don't want to be right here. If they don't slam the brakes and collide with one of these people, or hits them, or causes a problem, they slam the brakes and get into my lane, then now we have another problem. So that's why I want this person way ahead of me. I don't want this person right in front of me or near me because of these types of things. So in this situation, I'd be decelerating. So I wouldn't have to apply the brakes. I would just roll up the throttle because at this speed, you're going to slow down quite a bit. And I'm just going to let this play out in front of me until this person gets away from me. This is the anomaly that we don't want when we're out riding. Okay, and this is the stuff that does happen though. So just let them go. Decelerate, get far behind, give yourself a good space cushion, let other people get in front of you, let them deal with them, and just let it go. So what I think is that this is a shoulder that he's riding on. I'm unsure because just by the way, and it says child in the back seat, exactly what I'm talking about. Because it went from like this. You see how the lane merges? So it's almost like he went onto a shoulder. So he just went onto a shoulder, or he went onto a lane like that just to flip him off. That's basically all that is. Exactly, Florida. Exactly, Florida. Yeah, he's just flipping people off. All right, let's watch this one. Let's go to the beginning of it. Okay.
Are you f***ing joking me? You f***ing stupid bitch.
What? What? He's getting upset by that? Dude, you just hit another light. Yeah, he just got into another light. He's upset that they didn't gun it so he could gun it. That's what that was. Don't have that mindset, guys. If you got into another light, you got into another light. At the end of the day, you're on a motorcycle. How cool is that? You're on a motorcycle. How cool is that?
Are you
So this is kind of like what people were saying in yesterday's video, is that, see, this is like the space cushion that I'll give. I'll give this really big space cushion in front of me. So we have this truck that gets in front. Okay, so those are the two different reactions that you should have. So you'll have the one that's in this video where he's like, no, you suck, no, man, wanka, all these different things. Or you can have my reaction is, okay, go ahead and have it. I'm going to go ahead and slow down a little bit more for a couple seconds, and then I'll get back into speed. But this way I have now a space cushion with you. That's it. That's the that's all there is. If a person cuts in front of you, that's fine. You're being a courteous rider for letting somebody get in front of you anyways. There you go. Good job. But then just slow down a little bit, and now you have a space cushion with this person. That's it. There's two different mentalities on that. Don't get upset. Don't get upset, guys, because if you get upset, that's going to cascade into the next thing. So now you're going to, since you're upset, you're going to ride more aggressively, and now you're going to do this, now you're going to do that. It's going to set you down a path, a bad path. Yeah, exactly, Dave. I mean, everybody deals with this. It's just how you react to it is what's going to make a huge difference on your safety. higher speed than all others. The common theme I keep seeing in all these videos are motorcyclists who insist on constantly riding at a higher speed than all. Yeah, and there's something that goes into play with that. You know, if you're the fastest one there, you don't have to deal with anybody behind you, and that's true. But now you add in some more stuff. There's pros and cons to everything, and I think there's just too many cons to be going that fast. Oh, Tampa? I didn't know you were in Florida, man. That's crazy.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
All right. This is the same person as the last one. So this one and then this one. Sorry, I'm double dipping.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
The person, if you really want to know, the person was trying to merge but couldn't. That's what that is. Person was trying to merge but couldn't because this person was probably gonna go, but then this guy stopped. That's probably what happened. I mean, it's not a big deal. The big deal is going in front of this person without letting them know that you're there, and rev bombing is not a nice way of doing it. You can let somebody know by rev bombing, honking, doing all these stupid things, and that's one way. And then there's another way of just creeping up and then hoping that they're paying attention because they're probably looking both ways, scared of getting T-boned. It's simple as that. So you just creep up to him and be like, hey, what's up? All right, I'm going to go. Okay, we're good. I'm going to go. And then you go. You don't have to be like, hey, you stupid dumb, rev bomb, honk at them, and then what? I mean, it's just there's so many different ways of handling these things, and it's verbal judo when it comes to talking. So try to do that yourself when it comes to riding also.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
The dynamics of traffic. Yeah, Darkfire, exactly. Just bad luck for that driver, and we just came upon him. It's not a big deal. 2 seconds in Florida, yeah. They took out the angry people and impatience. They could avoid most of these close calls. Exactly. So mindset, guys. Mindset is huge. You can remove so many close calls if your mindset just changes from being entitled. And it's easy to become entitled when you're riding because you are in such a dangerous predicament. You're riding dangerously, basically, because anything that's bad that could happen will happen to you as a motorcyclist. So you're constantly on high alert. But there's a way to handle that. There's definitely a way of handling that. He's agitated, yeah. Yeah, so Tom, exactly. So I've always wished that the chat would be 100% green. So today I put members only chat, and there you go. But guys, if you'd like to be a member, please do so. Click that join button. It supports the channel. It allows me to do this because all these are pretty much demonetized, but it helps out the channel. And you'll be able to chat on Thursdays. Tuesdays, it's absolutely open all the time, so be good. So that was just Ryder... maybe just trying to get, I don't know, maybe you have to be that aggressive to get where you need to go in these areas. Maybe you have to. It's just the way you have to. I don't know. But just realize you're having to be mean for a reason, but just realize you're having to be mean. That's not who I am. I wouldn't do that. But it might work here. I don't know. Different culture. Wait a second. Did he get pissed at the guy? He cut him off, though. Am I wrong here? Did he just cut this driver off, and then he's getting pissed at him? Yeah, he's getting pissed at the driver. He cut him off. This motorcycle rider cut off this driver, and he's getting pissed at the driver. He didn't. What do you mean you stay in that one? He's like, you stay in that one. He stayed in the lane. He stayed in the lane that he was in. So the only way I can see this is that this rider had a lapse in cognitive function, and he might have perceived that this driver was in the other lane, and he thought that this driver came into this lane while he went in that lane. So it quite possibly could be a miscommunication. But the problem is, if it's a miscommunication, when you start to say stuff and you start to get angry and you start to do things outside of your mind, then you just invite other problems. And then on top of it, you just look like an idiot. So I personally just keep myself quiet, because there's so many times where I save my own ass by not saying anything, because I'm like, oh yeah, I was wrong. Whoops. I'm so glad I'm not embarrassing myself by yelling. But all right, I'm gonna let this one play, because it made really no sense. This driver, or this rider, is just Okay, so sorry. You're saying that, yeah, because so it's okay. So it's 2 lanes. What does this one says? Routes outer. Okay, so how is this driver supposed to know? It's not. I don't think it's his job to figure it out. So this lane that the driver's in turns into another lane. So you have 2 lanes. Yeah, 2 becomes 3 at a junction. Okay. Yeah, I got that too right at the same time as you guys. But how is this? It's not this driver, the one in the van's job. It's not their job to move over for this rider that could stay in this lane. You know what I mean? It's an added lane. It's not merging. He doesn't have to yield. I don't think the van driver has to yield. I think the motorcyclist is supposed to yield. So it's not the driver's fault still. Yeah, he should have been behind the van. Yeah, he should have pulled in behind the van. It's his job to merge safely. It's not the van's driver to be 100% patient. This is entitlement. So now that it's even more explained, this is pure entitlement. And please, guys, don't do that, because, I mean, you're already in a bad spot. Maybe he's angry. I don't know. But the van can stay in whatever lane they want to. The motorcyclist needs to merge safely. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Dad and Mad. So Naomi, there are 2 lanes. The bike had to merge. The van cut over. The van didn't cut over. I mean, it's 2 lanes right now. The van is just there. And then all of a sudden it opens up into 3 lanes. So I'm assuming the motorcycle rider thought the van would go to the far left lane, and then the motorcycle rider would have went in the middle lane. So the van just continued on straight through his path. Because to me, at the end of the day, it's like, well, I'm the one wanting to merge and change lanes. If I'm changing lanes into somebody, it's my fault. You know what I mean? We can't have it both ways, where if the van merged into my lane, I'd be pissed at the van. But if I merge into the van's lane, into the van, I'm pissed at the van. You know what I mean? All right, so I'll let it play. Sorry, I get distracted. See how he's like, you stay in that one? I'm thinking he's just, he's not, he didn't perceive it well. It was a misunderstanding. I think that's what happened. Oh, let me put streamer mode on. I actually did a video on this one. This was actually sent to me by a DDFM crew member, so I'm glad you're in here. Pretty scary, huh? Yeah, I already talked about this one. So the main points on this one that I talked about is understanding driver behavior. And what I mentioned, what the big takeaway for me on this one was that the Toyota 4Runner. So if you are coming up to a vehicle stopped in your path of travel and you're like, well, there's another lane to me, I'm just going to swerve right after this vehicle that's right next to me is past my path of travel, I'm just going to swerve right and do it. That's what typical drivers do. Like that, I've seen that. Everyone here has seen a driver do exactly this. Watch. We've seen that. We've definitely seen that. The only sad part and the scary part is that we're on a motorcycle. It happens to us a lot. We just don't get seen, so they do it. Like, we're literally invisible, so they just do it whether we're there or not. But we know the pattern and the path that drivers typically do when it comes to that. What the guy did was slow down enough to where the brown SUV in front of this motorcycle rider got past him. He swerved to get into the other lane. That happens. It happens all the time. So as motorcycle rider, if we see this, if we see that, and this is what the takeaway was from this video that I did, is that if we see a person stopped in the path of a travel of somebody else, and we're over here in this position, and we see brakes like this, my concern is that this person is going to swerve into my lane, just based off of what I've seen my whole life driving. Is that I have a feeling like if this driver is impatient, they're going to swerve into my lane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them have it. I'm going to let them have the lane. I'm going to recognize that this person is slowing down because of the car in front of him. And this person, the way they've been driving, wants to stay in this path of travel. So me knowing that, I'm going to let them have my space cushion. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow down when this person slows down because that is abnormal. That is something that's okay. This is probably going to happen. Boom. I'm going to slow down. That's the takeaway on this one. So slow down, let them do it, get in front of you, call it a day. It's being courteous too. You know, because if I was this Toyota 4Runner and I saw that there was a car into the far right lane and they like we were like on a different wavelength and they knew I wanted to get in that lane because of this car and they were like let me in, I'd be happy. So that's how I look at it. And I'm glad you like the music. All right, let's go back a little bit more so we get a good context of everything. There we go. All right, here we go. I don't think there was somebody on the back of the bike. Let them. Let them.
Okay, not bad. So,
once again, just let these people do it. So we have the car, the blue car on the right. We have the vehicles in our path of travel right in front of us. Okay, so there we go. Immediately saw the blinker and knew what was coming. So that's that sixth sense that I want you guys to have. I want you to have that because if you were in that situation, what would you be doing? You would be putting on your indication. You'd be slowing down, waiting for an opportunity. And then if you had to, you'll just take it. So if you had to do that as that driver, understand that that's probably what's happening in front of you. That's what's unfolding. And once you realize what's unfolding in front of you, you can react to it one or two ways, angrily or nicely. And I prefer nicely. So blinker indication right here. There it is. Look at the way the vehicle is positioned. He has an indication to turn left, and look how he's positioned. He wants to get into the far left lane. Once you see that, you're a bit behind. Oh man. Well, nice to have you still. Nice to have you still. But when you see the vehicle positioned this way with the indication on, and you're this far back, just let them have it. Let them get in front of you. I think Florida, you understand that. That's what you'll do. Whatever. Whatever. Just let him have it.
Okay, not bad.
Oh. Good job. Good job. That clipped pretty hard.
Okay, not bad.
All right. So this is as far back as we can go. Okay. Lane filtering does lane filtering presents its own version of hazards, and this one's just going to be a very bad line of sight. So that's going to be a big problem when it comes to lane filtering. You have really terrible line of sight because you have vehicles on both sides blocking your view. If your view is blocked, so are the drivers that are trying to merge or cross your traffic. Okay. So if you see like a big gap between brake lights, that means there's a big gap between vehicles. If there's a big gap between vehicles, just like everyone was telling me yesterday, if there's a gap, somebody's going to take it. So if you see that right here on the vehicle that's red, and then the vehicle in front of him in the same path of travel, it's pretty far away compared to these two red vehicles. See, these two red vehicles, nobody's going to come through, or hopefully they shouldn't with a car. But between these two, you can definitely understand that there's going to be something there. When you see that, you got to be very, 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 very careful and get used to your threshold braking and emergency braking. So he does a good job by applying the brakes and trying to move out of the way at the last second because he just doesn't have enough stopping distance. I just skipped ahead. Makes it easier to comment and chat when you're watching what everyone else is watching. If you're going to filter, you need to be ready for cars, pedestrians to merge. Exactly. Right away, I'm going to go ahead and turn it down for you guys a little bit. Right away, speedo's blurred. He's going fast. That's the mindset, everybody. So get ready. So that's the problem when you don't keyframe your blur, is that your blur doesn't stay with your speedo. So pretty lazy editing, but he's not going very fast. He's going 69 miles per hour. 69 miles per hour. Probably trying to make himself look cooler by going fast. I don't know. Maybe he was going fast and then now he's slowing down, but still. Learn to edit. All right, geez. So one thing that is free, guys, is if you join the Discord. Discord is absolutely 100% free. So I don't know if you're not a member, if you can't even click links in the chat. I don't know if that's the case, but if it is, then just go to discord.gg/DanaandTheFireman and join the Discord. The Discord's absolutely free. If you can click, great. But if not, then go to that. Okay. Another thing that you can do if you want to join the chat itself and actually chat, click that join button. It's right next to the subscribe, and it supports the channel, and it allows you to have these cool emojis, a bunch of different perks and everything. But it does support the channel, and this is a perk. This is Thursday. I'm going to do this for Thursdays. It's a perk for those that are YouTube members to be able to chat if they want to chat. Yep. Look ahead, look ahead, look ahead. No. 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 Do not do that. That was stupid. There was 0 point. There's 0 point to do that if your mindset is safety. There's a ton of reasons to do it. If you are agitated, you know when you're angry, you justify what you do sometimes. But there is a culture of motorcycle riders that find this appropriate. So it doesn't make sense to us, but it makes sense to them. So right here, his perception was pretty good. His perception was really good. He recognized that this driver was going to merge into his lane. So at this moment, you have two options. Once again, you could do exactly what this person does, get super pissed off, or you could just let them get in. And then that's it. That's the end of the day. You saw it ahead of time. You realized it was happening. You slowed down, let them have it, call it a day. Not a big deal. Nobody's angry. Nobody has anxiety about it. Nobody gets pissed off, possible road rage, all these different things. You don't have to worry about anything later on at all whatsoever, having a lane filter to get away from this old man. You don't have to deal with that if you just let them have it. Be humble about where you are in this world, guys. Be very humble. If you want to be prideful and fight for this, is this a place to fight and die for this spot in traffic? Does anybody want to fight and die for a spot in traffic? Or would you rather save that opportunity to fight and die for like saving somebody's life or protecting your family? Why would you fight and die over a parking or in a spot like this? So this is the moment you diverge into two paths. You have the one where you get angry, like we're going to watch again. And then two, to let it go. But if you just let it go, it's not going to be a video, right? So once again, there's a subculture of people that will do this for videos. So at this point, this driver's like, well, shoot, I don't want to be near this guy. He looks really agitated. He's pissed. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to take the spot now. That's what that is. He's like, I got to get out of the lane. I got to get out of the way. There's people behind me. They're going to hit me. They're going to hit you. We can't argue about this. I got to get over here. Exactly. Ego, ego, ego. And he took it. It's like, dude, I have to get out of the way. So either way, you're going to let him in. So now he just took it. Now you're pissed. So now that you did that, you don't want to get in trouble, right? Or your ego is so fragile that, you just wasted all your energy on that. Now you got to get out of there. So that's one thing. Okay, situation done. Situation done. Now we're in a new situation that's a solo event. Now this is what we're doing to ourselves because we got agitated and angry. This is what I'm talking about. One leads into the next. So agitated, angry, that situation's over. It's done. You did something stupid, whatever it is, but it's done. Now we're in a new situation where now we have to lane filter, do something that's very dangerous, all these different things. So what happens if we crash during this? It could have been prevented by not getting angry at the first driver. Oh! Sometimes it helps to have a dual sport, guys. So this is something that happened I think 3 times in my life, where I was driving an ambulance and somebody wasn't paying attention and actually crashed, and I witnessed the crash. Out of all the hundreds and hundreds of calls that I've driven an ambulance and being a part of calls themselves, like 3 times this has happened. Like 2 or 3 times. I know for sure one I absolutely remember. People do not respond well to unexpected stops. Exactly. Now this could easily have been a motorcycle rider. Happens all the time. More than likely, this would have been the motorcycle rider not being able to stop in time. A lot of people say during yesterday's video, it's like, why are you neutral? It should be in first. There's 2 different methods of that, and here's what I say a lot. And you'll see right here. So this vehicle that's about to get impacted, okay? This vehicle that's about to get impacted, when I drive and I get to a stop and I'm stopped, I'm off to the side. I'm like on that line. If you see yesterday's video, I am on that line. I am off to the side of the vehicle in front of me. My front tire is off to the side. I'm not behind the bumper. I'm not like maybe my right leg or left leg, depending on which leg is on the inside, is maybe close. So if somebody like this red vehicle wasn't paying attention, they're going to hit the vehicle in front of me, maybe clip me. At the end of the day, it's way better than getting sandwiched between 2 vehicles and crushed to death. This is why I do that. This is very rare. What's happening here is actually kind of rare in terms of freak accidents like that. It's usually for, like, this one was caused by the fact that the traffic change stopped, or by the fact that this driver sees the green light thinking they can go. Why is everybody stopped? I'm just going to pay attention to the green light and just keep going, but not paying attention to the brake lights. That's pretty much what happened. So there's like a cascade of weird events on this one. But I stick off to the left just in case. So right here where this rider is, you'll see in yesterday's video, that's how close. I'm on the line. I am on the line. So I'm like right here. So if this person hit this person, I would be off to the side. Hopefully just my leg, maybe my peg or something got clipped or something. It's going to be more of like a rotational hit instead of a full direct impact where my back is shattered. So I would prefer to be there. Now, if you saw this person not slowing down, you can move forward a little bit into whatever escape path you gave yourself. So he's like, I'm just getting out of there. What's up, Rouser? So let's see. I want to show you guys the side view that he has. So the side view. So this is going to be like that little domino effect. And this is, whenever we saw like a rear end accident at an intersection, it's usually like 3 vehicles. And it's for this reason. You have the first one to impact. You have this person that is on the brakes but still in gear. They get impacted. Their foot gets off the brakes. And then now the momentum from the foot off the brakes with the transfer of force into the back of the white vehicle, they're going to have an impact to this vehicle. So this vehicle is going to have minor damage to the bumper. And typically there's not going to be any damage to the human occupant. You're going to have a lot of damage to this vehicle in the back and some of the occupant. And then in the middle, you're going to have like a whiplash type feel. So you're going to have a lot of patience when it comes to these 2 vehicles in the back. Not necessarily in the front. Typically, the people in front that want to go to the hospital choose to go to the hospital just because of prior injuries that now it's aggravated, or they think they're going to get paid. So that's usually what happens there. But the lessons learned from this is take a look at where the vehicles are positioned. They're typically positioned in the center like that. You'll see the oil down the middle. You'll see the tire marks on both sides of that. And then you're going to see like little gaps between the lines and the tire marks. I position myself between the gaps and the tire marks, or the lines and the tire marks in that gap. So like right here where there's that little gap, I'll put my front tire like right here. So hopefully when they impact, they're going to impact straight onto these vehicles and I'm going to be saved. I'd rather have that. I'd rather have that than be clipped right here and be sandwiched. Okay, so guys, position yourself a lot better when it comes to stop signs. And I say that because this is what I see all the time. As a firefighter, I would see this all the time. Like, look at all these open spaces. We totally have options as motorcycle riders. These car drivers can't get out of the way. Motorcycle riders can position themselves a lot better. Awesome.
Alright guys, so fast forward about 3 hours later, and we're here in beautiful downtown Denver, Colorado. Hey, what's up?
You don't want to spend time in that little building right over there, which is the county jail. You'll want to make an exit. They're really touchy about camera pictures up here.
Are they?
On this building, it's private property, and it's posted as no photography.
Gotcha. I didn't see a sign anywhere.
It's in that door right over there.
I can't stand people like that. You could have just came up to me and be like, hey man, this building's private property. They don't want any photography. You really don't have to. That was just power tripping. It can go bad though. I've seen it go bad before.
The door?
That's the reason I'm up here, is to let you know.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't come in through that door.
We just want you to be safe, and we don't want the county or the state coming and giving you a bad time, because that building and several of these buildings around here are government buildings.
I just got this right here.
Yeah,
this is.
All right. Yeah. Whatever. David Oliveira just subscribed. Thank you so much, man. So guys, I got my gloves right here. I went riding today. It was sprinkling. He had to point it all out. I had to point it all out. Oh yeah, I've seen that before, T and Vol, where a car will hit a truck and that happens. Yeah, I've actually had that happen to me before. Somebody's like, "Hey, this is private property. You can't film and all that stuff." I'm like, all right, cool, man. All right, I'll leave. It's whatever. Private property is private property. Respect the laws. Respect their privacy if they want it, you know. But guys, thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. If you guys were wondering once again how to get into the chat for Thursdays, you become a member. If you are a member, you get access to a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and then you get some videos ahead of time. So whenever I have a video that I have ahead of time, I send it out to YouTube members. So please do so. Also, if you're on the Discord is right here. If you're in the Discord, sync up your YouTube membership. Sync it up, because that will make it to where you get access to the lounge and a bunch of other cool things. So if you guys want to become a YouTube member, click that join button right next to the subscribe button. Okay. If you want to help out with Patreon, please do so. It really, really does help out. But I got to get going, guys. I got stuffs to do. I got to take care of some business, family business. And I'll be seeing you guys around.